in terms of the group position and what exactly is at stake here as soon as the national anthems have been played. Well, we saw some familiar faces in that Ghanaian starting lineup, not least that of Michael Essien, the Chelsea star. There are some big names missing for the Black Stars as well. This is now the national anthem of Sudan. The Desert Hawks of Sudan are in need of a first victory as they look to get their campaign into gear as they strive to qualify for a World Cup for the first time in their history. They're one of the most traditional nations in terms of their pedigree, one of the founder members of the Confederation of African Football. They became a FIFA member back in 1947, but they've never got too close to qualifying for a World Cup. They are in with a shout this year, but in order to keep their hopes alive, they probably need to get 3 points here today. Sudan currently have just 1 point from their 2 games. A very disappointing 1-0 defeat away to Benin last time out. That game a couple of weeks ago, following on from Sudan's 1-1 draw against Mali. It is a very tough group. They're up against 3 West African powerhouses, although Benin are a smaller nation in terms of African football. They are certainly an emerging force and a very skillful side. So as it stands, Sudan are third in the section. Ghana are the team in the best position at the moment. They have 2 victories from 2 games. 1-0 the scoreline in their first match against Benin. Prince Tago scoring in the first minute to set up the victory there against the Squirrels. And then Ghana securing an excellent 2-0 success away to Mali a couple of weeks ago. Kwadwo Asamoah and Matthew Amoah among the goals. Both of those 2 players starting today for a Ghanaian side that is missing several big names. As I say, John Pansel, the Fulham player, is out suspended after picking up another card against Benin. Stephen Appiah, the veteran, one of the stars of Ghanaian football over the last decade, he's also out injured, as is Sally Mantari of Inter Milan. Laye Kingston, the tricky, skillful, lively winger, among the absentees, along with Asamoah Gyan, the Rennes striker and usually the first choice attacker for the Ghanaian national team. That means that Prince Tago will partner Matthew Amoah in attack for the Black Stars. Plenty of experience at the back in the form of John Mensah and Eric Addo, the 2 centre-backs. Richard Kingston, the Wigan Athletic goalkeeper, he starts today. Michael Essien, of course, we saw in the midfield. There's a sprinkling of youth in the side as well. Ghana recently won the African Youth Championship, and we've got the likes of Samuel Inkoom and Ajamunga Poku stepping up to the senior side tonight. A lot of enthusiasm here in the stadium as the red-shirted Sudan players get ready for what is a massive game for them. Something of a revolution going on under Stephen Constantine, who's brought in a host of new young players. He's kept a few of the experienced stalwarts in the side. Ahmed El Basha at the back, Haitham Kara as well, the 30-year-old midfielder. But there's also plenty of youth, and he's been pretty pleased with what he's seen so far with the draw against Mali. Promising result first up, even though they missed a terrific chance late on to get the win against Mali. And a more disappointing result last time out, a 1-0 defeat away to Benin. That defeat has left Sudan needing to create a big upset here against the 4-time African champions Ghana. The referee for today's contest is Jamal Abaya of Libya. Sudan have a very good home record. It's an intimidating place to play, and I don't think any of the Group D teams will be looking forward to their trip to Khartoum. Benin and Mali, the two other sides making up the quartet in Group D. Of course, only the winner goes through to the World Cup in South Africa. The top 3 teams will progress to the Africa Cup of Nations in Angola early next year. Sudan have enjoyed a considerable success in the club game in recent years, with Al Merreikh and Al Hilal securing some fine results. The vast majority of their players do play their football in the domestic league, which is quite rare these days, particularly when you get to this sort of stage of African competition. Aside from the North African sides, generally the teams are made up of foreign-based players, and when you look at this Ghana side, very few of them are plying their trade in the domestic league. The young left-back Harrison Afiol has been loaned back to Ashanti Kotoko from Feyenoord. Otherwise, it's all foreign-based players in the starting lineup, selected by Milovan Rajovac, the Ghanaian coach. Sudan are the side preparing to kick off. They're playing in red shirts, red shorts, and they are kicking from left to right, and they will be roared forward by the home support here. Fantastically passionate supporters in Sudan. And that is why Milovan Rajovac, the Ghanaian coach, has been saying that this will be the most difficult trip for Ghana in their World Cup qualifying campaign. Anthony Annan, the young number 6, playing the holding role in midfield alongside the experienced, the dynamic Michael Essien. In midfield, very much the strong point in Ghanaian football. It has been for some time. Will they be able to get a grip, though, against this highly motivated Sudanese team? Slight delay as we await to get this contest underway. Jamal Ambaya, the referee from Libya, is finally happy, and he will blow his whistle to get the 90 minutes underway here in Khartoum. Sudan versus Ghana. The Ghana side who qualified for the 2006 World Cup in Germany. It was their first ever World Cup appearance. They did extremely well too, progressing to the last 16 and playing very well against Brazil. Despite losing that game, they really did create a lot of problems to the Brazilian team. Now Bala Adam with the throw-in on the right-hand side. An early touch from Michael Essien, who helped to really pick up Chelsea's season when he came back from a knee injury this year. Regarded by many as the leading player in African football these days. Harrison Afiol. Both of the fullbacks in the Ghanaian starting lineup are players recently promoted from the under-20 side that did so well to win the African Championship earlier this year. Now, a round of applause as Sudan win possession back. It's with the skipper in midfield, Haitham Kara. Very much the player who calls the shots. in that midfield area. He's going to have his work cut out against Anthony Annan and Michael Essien. The ball through to Richard Kingston, winning his 69th international cap today. John Mensah. And now Afiol into Michael Essien, who's starting this game in a very deep role. This is a good, promising start from the Black Stars. An opportunity to mount their first attack. A lovely ball through to... Well, the ball has been lobbed just behind the goal. It was a very, very good move. The Sudan defence pushed up at quite a pace. Bursting through the middle was Kwadwo Asamoah. The question is, was he offside? Or did he just miss the target? If he wasn't offside, that goes down as quite a miss because the goalkeeper was totally exposed. Certainly a serious warning, that, to Sudan. Richard Kingston with the long clearance. Sudan qualified as a runner-up in their second round pool, finishing 3 points behind Mali, finishing above Congo on goal difference, and finishing 3 points clear of Chad. It's a good performance to get into the last phase and to have a terrific chance of at least qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations. Oh, a nice turn inside from Mashraf Koko, appreciated by the supporters. Here he is again, Koko. Won't take much to get these supporters right behind the Sudan team. Foul by Ajimonga Poku. Year-old midfielder Opoku, impressed in that World Under-20 Championship. Good header out by Eric Addo. This is Essien. Afiol. Kara looking up, finding an option in the right channel. This is a good, strong run. Cross eventually coming in by Mudatha Mohamed. And again the probing ball through, this time all the way through to Richard Kingston. The big burly number 13, Ahmed El Kida, will be looking to latch onto any openings. Michael Essien. Sudan supporters and the Sudan coach Stephen Constantine will be happy to see Michael Essien playing deep. So dangerous when he gets forward, but Ghana have a lot of dangerous players and they've opened the scoring. 5 minutes in here in Sudan, the perfect start for the Black Stars. It was a beautiful pass inside the right-hand channel. And then the early cross into the box. Sudan totally caught out at the back. There were two men unmarked. It only took one of them in the end to turn home. Matthew Amoah on target, and the Black Stars have their noses in front already. Clinical football from Milovan Radjevic's side. They have been so impressive in these qualifiers already, and what a task Sudan face now. They hadn't really had time to get a foothold in the game, and already Ghana are in front. Victory here, of course, for the Black Stars would leave them with 1 foot in South Africa 2010. If they can make it 3 wins out of 3 in this group, they would be looking really good indeed, considering they've been on the road already. This is their second away trip in 3 matches. Long way to go yet, though, as Bala Adam strides forward, loses out, and this is Opoku. Opoku switching the play, but Sudan deal with that one. Here's Essien. Essien just playing Anthony Annan into a bit of difficulty there, and Sudan can perhaps launch a counter with Adam, seeing plenty of the ball early on. Kara. Well, certainly Milovan Rajovac will be happier than Stephen Constantine at the moment. Rajovac will be very happy with the way his Ghanaian side have just settled into this game. They're controlling possession. They know they're going to be dangerous with the pace of Prince Tago and Matthew Amoa. It's interesting the way that Rajovac is just slowly introducing more and more youngsters into this side. Certainly having the likes of Montari, Appiah and Asamoah Gyan missing gives him that opportunity, but great opportunity it is indeed for the likes of Kwadwo Asamoah, 20 years of age, and Najimong Opoku, who is also 20. Both of those two starting in midfield alongside Essien and Anthony Annan. A terrific opportunity for them. And the ball back with Samuel Incoom, another of those youngsters, just 19 years of age. Incoom, absolutely exceptional at the African Youth Championship. Adam's ball forward, intercepted. Anthony Annan, young midfielder playing his football in Norway at the moment with Rosenborg. Highly impressive 18 months ago at the Africa Cup of Nations in Ghana. One of the revelations of the tournament, attracted a lot of major clubs. He's still playing in Norway. He has had a transfer to the biggest club in Norway, Rosenborg. Ado finds Afiul. That's a lovely turn from Opoku, who is very influential in the early stages of this match. Back to Afiul. Annan now finds Michael Essien. No real pressing from the Sudan players. They're allowing Ghana plenty of time on the ball, and that's a dangerous tactic. Afiul towards Essien again. That was better though, this time a Sudan player snapping in, and now Adam can launch another attack. Raking ball towards El Kida. Easy enough for Nkoum. Fuel forward, lovely layoff from Prince Tago. This is Haitham Kara, the Sudan skipper. That's a very good ball into space. El Kida trying to latch onto this one on the left, but again, good defending from the Black Stars. There is a very formidable look about this Ghanaian team at the moment, it has to be said. They're going to be tested. And just as I say that, a slight mistake at the back, and what a shot that was! The ball's come back out off the crossbar, a magnificent effort. And Ghana perhaps guilty of a touch of complacency there. They lost the ball in a dangerous zone. It was Haitham Kara who almost made them pay. He looked up, he saw Kingston just off his line. What a terrific strike. It could easily have hit Kingston and gone back in. 30 years of age, Haitham Kara, the national team skipper. And very much the talismanic figure in midfield. Dama stepping out of defence, another long ball. It was an innocuous long ball really that set up that opportunity. That half chance for Kara. What a strike it was. Opoku, terrific turn of pace into the box. Well, if he had have gone down then, it may well have been a penalty. To his credit, he stayed on his feet, but he does look a very dangerous customer, Agyemang Opoku. Michael Essien turning in between two Sudan players, so difficult to get him off the ball, but they've managed to do just that, and now Sudan can come clear. Oh, brilliant back heel. Goodness me, there is some real talent in this Sudan team. That was a poor ball. They're capable of producing some very spectacular pieces of play, and we've seen that in the last couple of minutes. John Mensah's got to be a little bit careful. Finds Eric Addo. And now Annan. Annan losing it, but slightly fortuitously getting the ball back. Ghana skipper John Mensah, the man known as the Rock of Gibraltar. One of the most consistent performers in the national team over the last few years. Annan, beautifully played wide to the right-hand side, just over hit. He is an elegant footballer though, Anthony Annan does an excellent job in that holding role, but can spray passes left and right as well. Koko's long ball is just allowed to run through to Richard Kingston. Eric Addo with the raking ball that goes straight out. I mentioned the second round campaign that Sudan enjoyed, just edging through on goal difference ahead of Congo. Well, it was actually a similar story for Ghana, surprisingly. They struggled to run away with things in their group alongside Gabon, Libya and Lesotho, and they actually ended up with the same number of points as both Gabon and Libya. Ghana, Gabon, Libya all finished with 12 points. Lesotho didn't get a single point. And it was Ghana and Gabon who went through on goal difference, so very unfortunate for Libya. You do feel that along with the Ivory Coast, along with Egypt, if they qualify, Ghana represent Africa's best chance of producing something, of enjoying a good run that I think so many people in football, so many fans would like to see in South Africa 2010. No African side has ever been beyond the quarter-final stage, of course. Incoom forward towards Agyemang. And a Fuel's pass, well, he just took his eye off the ball, and Opoku couldn't prevent the ball from going out. Around about 15 minutes played, Ghana still a goal to the good, thanks to Matthew Amoah. It's Amoah's third goal in the qualifying campaign. He is in very good form, the Ghanaian number 14. Had a good season in the Netherlands with NAC Breda. 14 goals in 25 appearances in the Dutch Eredivisie. Prince Tago, his strike partner, is just struggling to get into the game. It was he who lost the ball just a moment ago. Work to do, though, for Stephen Constantine and his Sudan team. Constantine explained that there was a lot of work to be done when he took charge of the Sudan team, and he's changed things around a lot in terms of personnel, in terms of the training regimes as well. I felt there was a lack of discipline both on and off the pitch. Something he's trying to install, and his side came close there. It was a very good cross from Bala Adam. Encouraging signs there for Constantine. So close for Sudan. The crowd thought the ball had gone in. Well, if Ghana give Sudan an opportunity to get back into this game, there is a very good chance they'll take it. They're a dangerous side, and that was a big chance, wasn't it? Arriving at the far post there, Milovan Rajovac looking concerned, and well he might. Now, is that going to give Sudan confidence? A nice midfield play again here. They are a slightly more inexperienced side these days, just because the Constantine has rung the changes, giving 5 players their debut for the first game of the 3rd qualifying round against Mali. Here they come again with Kara. Nicely played out to the left-hand side. Cross coming in left-footed, another chance, and Kingston has to tip it over the bar. This is a very good spell for Sudan, and the fans can sense that their team are just starting to find their feet. Zelkida, who was rising with the Ghanaian defender. Another corner, this time Kingston comes and gets a decent fist on it. I think there was a clash of heads there. The referee quite rightly blowing his whistle immediately. John Mensah's one of the players down. The Sudan player is Hassan Abaka. And I feel for him because John Mensah, I'll get it right in the end. John Mensah is a very, very powerful boy. And he's gone plummeting into the Sudan player Abaka. Opportunity for the players to take on some water. It is incredibly hot and humid today. Stephen Constantine makes the most of this break in play to give Haitham Kadar a few instructions. Kadar very much the man who transmits the coach's orders on the pitch. He's a central midfielder of great experience and quite some talent as well. Certainly his shot from 25 yards was the most inspirational piece of play that we've seen from any individual so far. Now are Sudan going to give the ball back to Ghana? It doesn't look like it. Kara decides that they are within their rights to keep the ball, and Kara plays it back to Koko. Koko's taken his eye off it, and Opoko's nipped the ball away from him. Now Fuel. Asamoah back to a Fuel. Samuel Nkoum has just taken his eye off the ball. Strongly linked with a move to Paris Saint-Germain. The young right-back Nkoum in the end opted for FC Basel. Koko again, the right back with the long ball forward. It should be easy for Ado. Heads it towards Michael Essien. Now Adam allows Kara to take over. The movement is good from the Sudan players. They're finding space in between their Ghanaian counterparts, and they've got another corner here. Bala Adam, the right-sided midfielder, is going across to the left to take. Kingston giving the orders. In Coombe at the near post. Ghana deal with that, and now the counter-attack is on. There are a lot of players up, and that was a very good and important challenge. Instead, it's going to have to be a slow build-up. Essien finds Anan. Asamoah linking up with Prince Tago, but Asamoah's return ball is intercepted and dealt with brilliantly by Ahmed El-Basha. They love to see flair, they love to see trickery here in Khartoum. The roar every time a Sudan player pulls off a little trick is very, very impressive. Shot on here for Ghana. Ironic cheers from the Sudan supporters. It was an ambitious effort. Never looked like threatening Hafez Mustafa's goal. Mustafa kicking straight into touch. He's had a difficult opening to this game. Has had very little to do other than pick the ball out of his net after Matthew Amoa turned home from close range. John Mensah looking long towards Amoa. John Mensah will be delighted to be playing for his national team again after a very difficult season in France with Lyon. Oh, that was a very, very strong challenge. The referee's letting it go. Well, for my money, that was a dangerous tackle. The foot was up. He went lunging in there. Let's hope that the Ghanaian player who is down hasn't suffered any serious damage. The referee's from Libya, Mr. Ambaya, and it was right in front of him. I think Anthony Annan was the player who went down. He's back on his feet. And the referee looks like he's producing a card, but I think it's for Annan. Let's have a look. Well, it wasn't really very clear. In any case, it's no free kick. Let's have a look at this tackle. It was a lunging effort. It was a dangerous tackle, no doubt about it. Tariq Kafi, the number 4. Good ball from Afiul. Michael Essien's touch was to nobody in particular, but he's won the free kick. And the ball striking the arm of Haitham Kara. Essien not enjoying his usual influence for the moment, but he is such a good player. His performances at the Africa Cup of Nations in 2008 were quite extraordinary. Here he goes again, Essien. Essien with the shot, straight at the goalkeeper. It was well struck by the Chelsea man. Claude Leroy, the former Ghana coach, had a really difficult decision to make at the Cup of Nations after John Mensah was sent off in the quarter-final against Nigeria. Now what's happened here? The slice clearance almost crept inside the far post. I think it didn't go too far wide. Richard Kingston, the Ghana goalkeeper, looked worried. Doesn't take much for this Ghanaian defence to be in trouble. Sudan look like they have the weapons to do some damage here. Another corner. Well delivered to the far post, but the header is harmless enough. But it's taken a deflection, so there's still pressure on Richard Kingston's goal. Now, number 4, Tariq Kafi, is up there. He's a big, strong defender. Ahmed El-Basha is another player in the box as Bala Adam takes it away, but it should be sent straight back in. It isn't. And now the counter-attack again is on. Asamoah with a good ball to Opoku. Opoku's beaten his man once more. The cross isn't bad, it was just too far in front of the on-rushing Ghanaian players. What a tricky customer Ajaman Opoku is. He plays his football in Qatar at the moment with Al Sadd, but still only 20 years of age. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in Europe in the coming years, if not months. Incoom's cross towards the far post. Corner. Ghana are posing problems on the flanks, notably with Opoku on the left. Here he is, Opoku. John Mensah jostling for position there, just behind Michael Essien. And Sudan should clear their lines. Throw in left side. They have started defending deeper since Ghana took the lead on 5 minutes. They really got in behind the Sudan defence too easily, and I think Stephen Constantine has made a conscious decision to get his side defending a little bit deeper on the pitch. The danger is that you get long shots coming in like that from the likes of Michael Essien. It's the second time we've seen Essien try his luck. The Sudan defenders just playing on the edge of the box. Eight goals so far in 44 matches for Ghana, for Michael Essien. He's capable of scoring many more goals, but I was just talking about Claude Leroy's difficult decision in the 2008 Cup of Nations. When Mensah got sent off, he was suspended, of course, for the semi-final. And with Ghana lacking experienced cover at centre-back, Claude Leroy eventually decided to play Michael Essien at centre-back. Essien is pretty much the best player wherever he plays, and he did a great job at centre-back, but it just meant that Ghana were lacking in midfield. They lost to Cameroon in that semi-final. Kingston out, finds Harrison Afior. Good ball from Incoom into the feet of Amoa. Oh dear. I don't think the pitch was to blame there. I just think Afior took his eye off it. And he's gifted Sudan possession. This is Bala Adam, one of the more lively performers in the Sudan team in this first half. It's going to be a goal kick. Complaints from Mudata Mohamed, but he clearly took the ball out. Sudan's record at home so far in the qualifying campaign is mixed. They got a terrific result against Mali in the second round, winning 3-2. But they were beaten at home by Chad. That was a big upset, losing 2-1 before beating Congo 2-0 in the last game. That was a crucial game because they ultimately pipped Congo after finishing with 9 points, the same number of points as the Congolese. And well, in the third round of qualifying so far, just one home game, a 1-1 draw against Mali. Samuel Incoom with a good ball inside the fullback, inviting the run from Asamoah. Asamoah's cross just too high. It almost fell to the Ghanaian striker. I think it was Prince Tago, arriving unmarked. And this time the flag up against Amoa. Half an hour gone here in Khartoum, and the home side, Sudan, are trailing by a goal to nil, and they're making their first change. Number 18, Hassan Abakar, is going off. He was down for treatment at one point after colliding with John Mensah, so I imagine it is an injury that is forcing Abakar off the pitch here. Moussa El Swansi is the man taking his place. Gets a good ovation from the home fans. So just under 15 minutes left for Sudan to try to get back on level terms before the break. You do feel that if Sudan do equalise, it's going to be very tough for Ghana because the home fans are going to make quite some noise. At the moment, Ghana reasonably in control of proceedings, although Sudan have created some moments of danger. Hitting the bar as well from a terrific long-range shot. Good play there by Afiul. And Sudan retain possession, but only momentarily. Good defending from the Sudanese left-back. Tariq Kafi it was, who was just impeded, got the ball clear all the same. Now another long one for Mohamed, who is feeding off scraps at the moment. Adam. Another opportunity for Mohamed. That was slightly better than a scrap. The ball threaded through by Adam was very precise, and well, Mudathir Mohamed had a bit of a glimpse of goal there, hooking his shot wide. Mudathir Mohamed is the player who scored at Sudan's goal against Mali back in March. The only goal they've got so far in the third qualifying round. Koko picking out the run of Adam. I'm impressed by the work rate of Bala Adam. Stephen Constantine, the Sudan coach, made it very clear that he wanted determined players, players with the right attitude. He felt there were too many players not necessarily pulling their weight. Of course, you need talent as well, but there is a real work ethic, a real collective strength to this team. As we see another terrific effort. The goalkeeper can't hold on to it. It's going to be a corner to Sudan, and they do know how to shoot from long range. That was an arrow towards the top left-hand corner. As the substitute, Elsa Nossi, letting fly. Ghana was sleeping at the first corner they defended. Since then, they've defended the corners very well. And another good challenge coming in from Afiul. Well played by Mohamed. The cross coming in from Adam is just drifting behind. Bit of a shame that for Sudan, because they were getting men into the box. Sudan did qualify for the last Africa Cup of Nations as well in Ghana. Just failing to get through the group phase in the end. They had a very difficult group with the likes of Egypt and Cameroon. They've got a decent record at the Nations Cup, 7 participations in all. They were victorious in 1970, clinching their solitary continental title. They've been runners-up on 2 occasions as well, in 1959 and in 1963. They've also had a 3rd place finish, so it's a a nation with a fair bit of pedigree. They'll be confident of booking their place in Angola next January. Michael Essien standing, hands on hips, preparing to take this free kick. He doesn't have his partner in crime, Sully Muntari, to share free kick duties. What a shot that was. It was always starting too high, but the ball was dipping down, Juninho style. Michael Essien used to play in the Lyon midfield with Juninho, the Brazilian free kick wizard. Got a few decent free kick takers to learn from at Chelsea as well. Adam, back to Kara. Kara's crossing towards Mohamed, but John Mensah got there first. Mensah again, going up with Mohamed. Mohamed's got the better of him, but has just lent in to the Lyon defender. Mentioned the problems that John Mensah's had at Lyon. It's going to be interesting to see if he stays on at the Stade Gerland. He was, well, he had a nasty run-in with police in Lyon. He was stopped in his car, and then, as he didn't speak French so well, was going for his mobile phone to call his agent, and the policeman felt that he was being threatened. Thought Essien was, thought Mensah was going for a gun, and pulled him out of the car. Mensah later had problems with some racial taunts during a Lyon game with the away supporters having a go at him. So it's not been a happy season. He's had a lot of injuries as well. I'm sure he saw his move to Lyon as a terrific move and an opportunity to establish himself even more in the Champions League and perhaps to seal his dream move to England. He's made it clear that he'd like to play in the Premier League one day. Now Fuel switching the play. Headed out by Kafi. Samuel Nkoum taking on his man. He's a tricky customer, a confident player at just 19 years of age. Here is the teenager with the throw-in. Tago and Amoa are making runs for him, but in the end I think it was Matthew Amoa flicking the ball behind. John Mensah's been so shaken up by what's happened at Lyon this season. He's been talking about going back and playing in the Ghanaian domestic league. Sure, there'll be plenty of clubs keen to secure his services. But Mensah at just 26 years of age surely has plenty of years ahead of him if he does want to stay and play at the top level in Europe. Bala Adam in towards El Kida. There's a lack of fluency at the moment in the Sudan approach play. It's all a bit static. Bala back to Coco. He plays it long. Good strong header by Eric Addo. And Mensah completes the clearance. It was brilliantly taken, but it was taken with the aid of an arm by Prince Tago. Adam bringing Coco into the play. Back to the diminutive number 14. Kara to Adam. They've kept possession well, but Ghana have got everybody back now. It's good football all the same by Sudan. They are capable of stringing passes together, no doubt about that. If they do find their rhythm, they can do real damage. claimed many a big scalp here in Khartoum. Ghana would be a huge scalp. But it's certainly not impossible. They are a goal down at the moment. Building play up the right-hand side. Mohamed taking on a Fuel. A Fuel is sticking to his task well, but Mohamed can get the cross in. It's a very good cross too. Ghanaian defence being stretched, but just about coping. Lovely skill from Adam, and didn't the fans enjoy that? The cross though straight to Nkoum, but Nkoum's made a mistake. Well, it is nervy defending this from Ghana. They're giving plenty of encouragement to the Sudanese. Listen to the fans roaring as that ball is just hacked into touch. They've got the Black Stars on the hop here, but time is running out in the first half. Around about 4 minutes left. Look at that, beautiful skills from Mohamed. Beautiful ball control by El Basha. The fans are really relishing this. Sudan are upping the tempo. Adam crossing to the far post. It's a very disappointing ball. Such a shame, because Adam has had a really impressive first half. It's been that final ball that's let him down on a couple of occasions. Ghana have been often described as the Brazil of Africa, but there's a bit of a Brazilian swagger about this Sudanese team as well. Michael Essien. Very neat. Opoku now. Essien's continued his run into the box. Opoku goes back towards Annan. Annan under pressure and fouled by El Snossi. Amoa linking up with Prince Tago, through again towards Amoa, just behind the striker. Good searching ball there down the left channel. Ball hasn't yet gone out. They've got to be careful again, Ghana, because Sudan are closing down. Brilliant. Brilliant skills from Michael Essien, spreading it to Afiul. And Afiul's caught late. Milovan Rajovac, the coach, is looking pretty unimpressed that the referee hasn't even given a free kick for that. He's been fairly lenient, the referee from Libya, Jamal Ambayo. He's let quite a lot go. No doubt that Afiul was caught late. His first touch wasn't the best. It wasn't that bad either. He had enough pace to get to the ball. And that can do real damage to ankles, that sort of challenge, sliding in there. It wasn't malicious, it was just a split second too late, but it was certainly a foul.
Second ball. Better.
The instructions are clear from Stephen Constantine. You may have picked that up. He wants his side to step up the play a bit and try to pick up the second phase ball in particular. That's where he feels that his side could maybe get an advantage in this game. Ghana are traditionally so strong in that midfield area. At the moment it's Sudan trying to build with a first phase ball. Some lovely skill again. And once again it's Bala Adam proposing an option on the right hand side in towards El Snossi. El Snossi with the nutmeg that the fans enjoyed. And he's made a good run. This is a chance, but it was really good defending. John Mensah stepping across. read it beautifully and used his pace and strength just to nip the ball away from El Snossi, who's made an impact since he's come on. Now down to Coco. We saw a lot of that man, the number 7 Opoku, in the first 10 or 15 minutes. We've seen a lot less in the last half hour of this first half, but the first half has come to an end, and it's Ghana who have their noses in front thanks to an early goal. Matthew Amoa breaking the Sudanese resistance inside 5 minutes. Sudan have come back strongly. They've hit the crossbar through Haitem Kara. They've had a couple of half chances, and Ghana have not looked too assured at the back. Here's the goal. It was a terrific build-up up the right-hand side. Prince Tago making the run and crossing the ball beautifully into the stride of Amoa. And that's the goal that separates these two teams at the break. We'll have the whole of the second half coming up for you live from Khartoum. Can Sudan come back, or are Ghana heading for their third consecutive victory in Group D? At half-time, the score here, Sudan 0, Ghana 1. Been comfortable throughout the opening 45 minutes. They've been in trouble at times, and Sudan look well capable of coming back into this game. Ahmed El Basha, the Sudan centre-back, getting ready for the second period. The Sudan defence hasn't been tested too much after the first 10 or 15 minutes. Ghana were right on top at the start of this game, but once Sudan found their feet, they started dominating the possession. They had one terrific shot from their skipper, that man, Haitem Kara, smashing a ball over Richard Kingston. He was very unlucky to see it bounce back out off the crossbar. That's the closest Sudan have come. They've had a couple of other chances as well. And the home fans here will be hoping to have something to celebrate in the coming minutes. Ghana are going to get this second half underway. The referee from Libya, Mr. Ambaya, gets the second period started, and Michael Essien immediately in possession for Ghana, and urging his players to get forward and start playing this second period in the Sudan half. Just to remind you, this is the third qualifying round for the 2010 World Cup. 6 African nations will be competing in South Africa, including the host Bafana Bafana, and the 5 winners of the third round pools. At the moment, Ghana on top of Group D with 6 points from 6. Up against Mali, Benin and Sudan, of course. John Mensah in the wars again, down. Unhappy with the treatment he is getting, or the lack of protection, perhaps, that he's getting from the referee. Ghana will be hoping for a similar start to the second half to the start they enjoyed to the opening period. It was a blistering first 15 minutes or so. I'm sure Milovan Rajovac will be encouraging his team to try to take the game by the scruff of its neck and not allow Sudan to settle in this second half, because once they do, they can play football. No doubt about that. They are a dangerous team. Mensah with the header. Eric Addo forward. Slightly lazy touch by Prince Tago, and Sudan can bring the ball clear. That's going to be difficult though for El Snossi. All the African qualifying action coming to you, of course, on myafricanfootball.com. You can log on and watch the games live. We're going to have all the best club action as well from the CAF Confederation Cup and the CAF Champions League coming up next month. The Sudanese clubs in particular will be hoping to make an impact again. This is about international football and a chance for Sudan. It was a great challenge. Certainly not a penalty. Luckily for Ghana, it was a very alert piece of defending, just as Madlatha Mohamed looked like he was bearing down on goal. Dreadful mistake initially by Eric Addo, but it was John Mensah. Alert, recovering, sliding in and timing his tackle perfectly. Now the shot coming in, fantastic save. That was a stinging volley from fully 25 yards. Richard Kingston sprawling to his right. Terrific reaction stop. Well, Sudan continuing where they left off in the first half. They are looking dangerous. They are looking well capable of drawing level here against Ghana. Look at this strike, fantastic technique. And full credit to the Wigan Athletic goalkeeper. El Basha with the king ball. Fuel does well, kept his eye on it. And the flick on, and good goalkeeping again by Richard Kingston, formerly of Birmingham City. Currently battling with Chris Kirkland for the #1 jersey at Wigan. Another ball for El Kida to chase. This is El Swasmi, the substitute. That was a miscued ball. It's been quite impressive though so far, El Swasmi, after coming on for his injured teammate Abaka. Sami Dama out to Kafi. Again, it's good build-up play. They have very impressive technical skills. What Stephen Constantine, the English coach of Sudan, is trying to instill is a strong mentality and more discipline as well on the pitch. Adam stealing away from his man. He's been very impressive. Obviously needed to be careful there. The ball has been worked out to Kafi. And eventually the shot coming in, and again Kingston's there. This impressive spell of pressure from Sudan is continuing. They're getting closer. You do sense that goal could be coming. Michael Essien. The layoff from Amoa. Back to Nkum. Spread out to the left-hand side. Ghana trying to stretch Sudan now. Opoku has to go back to John Mensah. Charles Rasamoa. He hasn't seen too much of the ball, and that was a fairly innocuous effort. Quadwo Asamoah on the books of Udinese. One of the youngsters in the team, just 20 years of age, on target in the 2-0 success over Mali. Mohamed fighting for it. He's done well. He's retained a lot of balls, the Sudan #11. El Snossi can't quite bring that ball under control. Essien again. Playing a very restricted role this afternoon, Michael Essien. Oh, a great chance here for Amoa. And it's #2. So clinical. Ghana 2-0 up. And just like they did in the first half, they score early on in the second. And once again, it's Matthew Amoa. Quadwo Asamoah did well there. The diagonal pass was absolutely perfect. And Asamoah, one touch just to control the ball and turn. And a second touch to finish. A hammer blow to Sudan's chances. Really a carbon copy of what happened in the first half. Ghana scoring early on, Amoa scoring. It's his fourth goal of the qualifying campaign, his second goal of the evening, and Ghana, despite being under the cosh for long periods here, are 2 goals to the good. It's the mark of a top team as well. They haven't necessarily played very well, but they've been clinical in front of goal. Now Sudan again need to find their composure. They need to steady things, try and find a goal from somewhere as the second half wears on and put Ghana under pressure. They've got a free kick. Good surging run from Mohamed. And a yellow card to Asamoah, who just after I was saying wasn't having much of an impact, played a lovely ball into Amoah for the goal. The man from NAC Breda. Experienced forward Matthew Amoah. He's never really set the world alight, but he's a proven goal scorer. Spent many years at Vitesse Arnhem in the Netherlands, a couple of seasons at Borussia Dortmund as well in Germany, so he's clearly a very, very good player, and he's been scoring plenty of goals for NAC Breda in the Netherlands this year. Now Rajavak is preparing to make a change here for Ghana. Number 15 is Isaac Versa, getting ready to come on. The change has been made as the free kick is deflected, and it'll be a corner now. Opoku, the player sacrifice, getting the high fives on the Ghana bench. He's had a good game. Certainly in the first 15 minutes, he was the best player on the pitch for me. Faded a little bit, but I think Rajavak will be happy with his contribution as the corner is just over the head of everybody. Stephen Constantine also considering changes for Sudan. So hard to take when your team is on top like that and then get dealt a sucker punch. It's happened twice to Sudan. I think the second goal was even harder to take because the Desert Hawks were enjoying a really, really good spell. They looked like they were going to score. And to go 2 down in such circumstances, it's going to be very hard for them to come back from that. Now good cross it, saved, and the whistle's blown. Well, Ghana have had 2 clear chances and scored 2 goals. Almost the third chance and almost the third goal there. But the flag was up for offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. Another warning, though, to Sudan on the attack with El Kida. This is Mohamed. Nicely played out to the left for El Snossi. El Snossi cutting into the box. Can he find the right ball? Well, there were too many Ghana defenders back. Gets a cross in at the second attempt. Again, Ghana defend it well. Again, though, the referee has spotted something. Ahmed El Kida, the number 13, hasn't had a sniff of goal as of yet. He is a very good goal scorer. Given half a chance, he could well punish Ghana. The boos running around the stadium. It's been a frustrating evening so far for the Sudanese supporters. Samuel Nkun comes forward for Ghana. What a position this would put the Black Stars in after 3 matches if they do hold on and get the victory. 9 points from a possible 9. Benin taking on Mali on Sunday. You can watch that game as well on myafricanfootball.com. El Kida looking to take on Nkoum. Well, Kasa couldn't quite bring that ball under control, but it's still with Sudan. Kasa with the ball out to the right-hand side. It's just slipped into touch. This result would take Ghana 6 points clear of Benin, 8 points clear of Sudan and Mali. Of course, Benin and Mali would have that game in hand. They're playing tomorrow, but huge position of strength Ghana would be in. With a home game coming up against Sudan, that's their next game. Sami Damar back to Hafez Mustafa, who's had absolutely nothing to do. The Sudan goalkeeper, he's been beaten twice. He got a touch on that second goal from Amoa, but other than the 2 goals, he's been a virtual spectator, and it just shows how clinical Ghana, and in particular Matthew Amoa, have been tonight. Stephen Constantine preparing to make a change, a vastly experienced coach, 46 years of age. The Englishman, he's had spells in charge of Cyprus, Nepal, India, and most recently Malawi, a couple of years in charge of the Malawian national team, and a brief spell at Millwall as well in the English second tier. And he is preparing to make a substitution here. Ala Eloan Kano is the number 5, preparing to make his entrance. Well, the supporters don't seem to be too happy about the change. It's the skipper going off, Haitham Kara. He was very impressive in the first half, a little bit less so in the second period. He may well be feeling tired or suffering from a knock. It's certainly a surprising move and not a popular one. El Kida. Back to Kafi. Kafi's long ball headed down by Mensah, who's having an excellent match. And a big decision then taken by Stephen Constantine. He's been in charge of Sudan since February of this year. Another lusty challenge coming in. This time from El Kida. Sudan need a goal, they need a piece of inspiration. One of the players capable of providing that, Haitham Kara, has just been substituted. So somebody else is going to have to step up to the plate. At the moment, Ghana looking comfortable, in control after that second goal. Afiul played nicely into Asamoah. Long clearance from the Sudan goalkeeper, and the red shirts coming forward again with El Snossi. Mohamed, the ball helped on towards the right back, Koko. Koko with the cross into the box, not easy for Ghana to deal with. It needed a last-ditch intervention from Eric Addo. Smashing the ball clear, just getting there ahead of his goalkeeper. Easy that time for Richard Kingston. Ghana did so well in Germany in 2006, getting through a group that included the Czech Republic, the United States of America, Let's watch this as Samuel Nkoum shows some lovely skill to get away from his man. The cutback goes through a lot of bodies, but in the end it's going to be cleared by Kano. And away comes Sudan. And another change is about to be made. It's going to be the third and final substitution for Stephen Constantine. No doubt that his side need an injection of freshness, really. A little bit of enthusiasm at the moment. Ghana are just passing the ball about. We saw it in the first half. It's interesting how this game has just evolved, really, because Ghana were in complete control for the first 15 minutes. It's a similar story in the first 15 minutes of this second half. Sudan are capable. When they do get some momentum, they can just tighten the screw and put real pressure on their opponents. Ahmed El Kida this time being sacrificed again. There are some boos in the stands here. Abd El Hamid Ismail, the player coming on. Imagine Ismail will go up front to partner Mohamed. Mohamed has certainly been the livelier of the two forwards. But there's a problem really in the Sudan side at the moment. The Ghanaian players have got too much time on the ball. There are always players available. Another yellow card this time for the sub Kano. Michael Essien having one of his more quiet performances, really, in a Ghana shirt. He won't be too disappointed about that. Be happy to keep a low profile, help steer the Black Stars towards another big victory before enjoying a decent break this summer. Michael Essien, who came back in February and was exceptional for Chelsea in the final months of the season. Scored that stunning goal, of course, against Barcelona that very nearly fired Chelsea into the Champions League final, but for that late strike from Andreas Iniesta. Here is Essien. Looks like he fancies a pop here. It's a long way out. He plays a cross in instead. Straight through to Mustafa. Mustafa's long ball. Kingston's coming. He gets there. Well, this would leave Sudan with real problems after 3 games. They would have just 1 point. And they probably would have to resign themselves to a battle for a place in the top 3 and qualification for the Africa Cup of Nations next year. That would be a decent achievement in itself. If they want to qualify for the World Cup, they need to react, and they need to react in the next 20 minutes because they are heading to a second consecutive defeat here. El Basha with the long ball. This is a decent run from Ismail. It's been forced a bit wide. Looking for support, getting it from El Shnosni. And at last, a bit of possession for Sudan. Kano. Out to Kafi. El Shnossi back into the midfield. Everybody back for the Black Stars. It's going to be a long-range effort, a very, very hopeful effort, and not a particularly helpful one as far as Sudan are concerned. Ahmed El Basha, the 27-year-old experienced defender, letting fly, or was it, in fact, Syed Mohammed? It may well have been Mohammed. Now a bit of space for Prince Tago. We haven't seen too much of Prince Tago today. I'm sure he'd love to get in among the goals as well. Almost releasing Essien. Now this is a good ball. Ismail does really well. He's into the box. What can he do? Picks out Esnossi. It was a good drive, but a very good block coming in from Isaac Versa. And the referee quite rightly telling Ghana to get on with it. A little bit early in the day to start time wasting. You shouldn't really time waste at any point in the game, of course, but if Ghana are going to start doing it now, it could be a tedious final quarter to this game as Harrison Afiol eventually takes the throw in. Sudan quickly win possession back. They are showing signs of rallying here. If they can get one goal, we could be set for a grandstand finish to this game. Afiol again. Essien playing in a slightly more advanced role since Versa has come on. Caffey with the raking ball out to the right-hand side. Good header back to Kano. This is better. Mohammed spreading the play to Adam. To Mohammed, but Adam didn't continue his run. You do wonder if Bala Adam ran himself into the ground in the first half. He was terrific. He saw an awful lot of the ball. He was always available, but we've seen a lot less of him in the second period. And it's the Ghana fans who are dancing, who are celebrating what they think is going to be a big, big win. It would be 3 in a row. And this, the game that Milovan Rajovac was saying would be the hardest for Ghana in the group. Certainly the other two away trips against Mali and Benin are much shorter journeys. I enjoyed a week-long training camp in Kenya in the build-up to this game. Mohammed trying to take on John Mensah, but it is very difficult to get beyond the Ghana captain. He's been one of the best players for me tonight, John Mensah. Once again, he's down holding his right thigh. He's getting whistled, but I don't think Mensah's the kind of player to feign an injury. It is admittedly the third time that the Ghana skipper has been down tonight, but he's been getting blows, and you can understand the home fans' frustration. They just want to see this game getting back underway, and Sudan trying to get more and more pressure on Richard Kingston's goal. Bitter disappointment on the faces of the Sudan players on the bench there. It would be a hammer blow to their hopes, but they need to pick themselves up. They need to focus, if they do lose this game, on trying to get something from the return match in Ghana and on trying to secure a top 3 place in the group. Hafez Mustafa needs to get on with this. Sudan are running out of opportunity, running out of time. in qualifying for 2006. Ghana, as I say, made it all the way to Germany. Sudan were in with a shout. They got past Eritrea to qualify for the group stage, but they had a very, very tough group. Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Egypt, Libya and Benin. They won just one of their games. As the shot comes in, appeals for handball. Very vocal appeals from the supporters here. The referee has given Sudan a free kick in a really dangerous position and a yellow card. Quite right if the handball was intentional. The shot on the turn came in from Ismail. I don't think it was a goal-bound shot. Let's have a look at this again. The pass from Kafi. Good skills here from Ismail. Well, I'm not sure there was any intent with that handball. The shot was probably on target. Good chance this for Sudan. With around about 15 minutes left to play in this game, it would be a good time to score. It would be a lifeline as we see that ball clearly striking John Mensah on the arm. And it's around about 20 yards out. One of those that if you get it over the wall, if you get it towards the side that the wall is protecting and not the goalkeeper, there's a good chance it'll go in. Oh, that was disappointing. Straight into the wall. And then eventually the deflected effort is going to be stopped by Kingston. That was a real anticlimax. Good early clearance by Kingston to Prince Tago. It's getting more and more frustrating for Sudan. You do feel that that second goal has just taken all of the wind out of their sails. Stephen Constantine, the Sudan coach, has tried to lift his troops by making a couple of substitutions, trying to G up his players, but they're not really responding at the moment. So much class in this Ghanaian side, though, when you think about the players who aren't there. I know I've mentioned them a couple of times already, but when you've got quality like Salim Ansari, Stephen Appiah, those two can come into the midfield when they're available again. John Pansilla, an established Premier League defender, currently suspended. He'll come back into the side, I'm sure. And you've got Laya Kingston, a tricky winger from Heart of the Midlothian. Asamoah Gyan, who hasn't quite established himself with Rennes in France this year, but he's a very powerful, very dangerous striker. Here's the goal scorer, Amoa, just running into difficulty there. Sudan bring the ball clear. Kano finds Kafi. Just look how quickly Ghana closed down in midfield. It is very difficult at the moment for Sudan. This is in Koum. And now Sudan's defence is pushing very, very high. The defender needed to make that, and to his credit, he did. Syed Mohammed, he stood up tall, had enough pace to get in there and beyond Prince Tago. Let's have a look at this again. The important thing for Mohammed was to stay goal side of Michael Essien. It was breathing down his neck. Good midfield play once more from the Sudanese. In passages we've seen the makings of a very impressive team today. Kafi, good ball forward. Adam linking up nicely with Ismail. Really good football again. Again, the final pass lacking. Far too easy, that cross for Richard Kingston. Can confirm that John Mensah has been booked by the referee. Not sure if that was for play acting, time wasting. In any case, he has received a yellow card. Kafi brings the ball forward, tries to inject some pace into the move. John Mensah, who else is there across to beat El Snossi to the ball? Ismail. Ghana happy to drop back now, allowing Sudan the ball until they get to within about 30 yards of the goal, and then all of a sudden you've got 1, 2, 3 Ghanaian defenders closing in, winning the ball back. It's been a disciplined display from them. They have had to soak up periods of pressure. They've ridden their luck as well at times. At the moment, though, it's a big performance. Adam with the layoff back to Mohamed. And the long-range shot coming in, a fine save. Richard Kingston has earned his money again tonight. They have some real quality in terms of long-range shots, this Sudanese team. We've seen one cannon back out off the crossbar. This was the substitute, Kano. Well, they're still fighting. And they've got plenty of the ball at the moment. Kano, is he going to try it again? Well, that was not quite as impressive. He just got carried away with the first effort. Former Galatasaray and Ankara Gucci. Goalkeeper Richard Kingston has had a very good game again today. He's a consistent performer. I think should be bracketed among the best goalkeepers in Africa now. There are some very good goalkeepers these days in Africa, the likes of Kameni, El Hadari, Enyama for Nigeria as well. It's a very, very good, solid goalkeeper. Kafi clipping it left-footed, long towards the target man. Mudafa Mohamed has put in a big shift today up front for Sudan. He's put in a lot of work. Hasn't had too much reward for his efforts. And Rajovac has the luxury of making another substitution for Ghana, his last of the evening. Jaman Haminu, the experienced midfield player, is going to be coming on to replace Samuel Nkoum, filling in for John Panshill today. The 19-year-old has done a fine job, and it's not Nkoum coming off. I was a bit surprised to see the right back coming off. It is Prince Tago making way then for Haminu. Oh dear, the Sudan defence has been caught out, and that was very nearly 3-0. Brilliant clearance. I think everybody was waiting for the flag to go up. Suddenly the Sudan goalkeeper Hafez Mustafa reacted. What a brilliant clearance, acrobatic from Ahmed El Basha. And that would have been the hat-trick for Ramoa. Did very well just to dink the ball over the on-rushing keeper. What about that for a clearance? Ghana corner, tipped over the top of everybody, wasted. Well, it's getting towards do-or-die time, really, for Sudan. They need a goal, otherwise this game will be beyond their reach in the next few minutes. In all honesty, they haven't created too much from open play. Their most dangerous chances have been long-range shots. They're in trouble here again. Amoa with the header on. This time the flag has gone up. The flick on was towards the Haminu. The substitute, he's only been on for a minute or so. Adam turning inside, turning into space. Picking out El Snossi. Ghana have every chance of becoming the first African side to qualify for the 2010 World Cup, other than the hosts, of course, South Africa, already through. That'll be a fantastic achievement from Milovan Rajovac. It would also give him the opportunity to start preparing early. That's very important. Start checking out the sites in South Africa, planning ahead. I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself at the moment, but if Ghana do seal this victory and move well clear at the top of their section, they're looking pretty invincible at the moment. Now we've got another stoppage as the ball is kicked out of play. Less than 5 minutes remaining. It's Ahmed El Basha, the man who made that spectacular goal line clearance to deny Matthew Amoa his first international hat-trick. He's now suffering. Amoa, incidentally, is now into double figures in terms of his international career. He's got 11 goals for Ghana in this his 30th appearance. 4 in the qualifying campaign. A good effort so far from him, keeping Junior Agogo on the subs bench at the moment. And Stephen Constantine will be ruining what has been a very disappointing June so far for Sudan. That costly victory last time out against Benin, 1-0. They lost in Cotonou. And now what looks like a defeat at home against the Black Stars. Kano for Sudan. Everybody coming forward. Good to see 1 or 2 smiles on the bench. We've seen some pretty sorry faces on the Sudan bench. Everybody very disappointed. You learn from these sort of experiences without meaning to sound condescending. Sudan have shown they're capable of causing real problems to Ghana. On another day, they may well have drawn level, and had that happened, you feel that with the passionate supporters here, could have been a totally different ball game. They're still coming at Ghana. That's going to be Richard Kingston's ball, though, racing off his line. He's had a really good match. Now, Junior Agogo is going to get a run out. Haminu winning a corner for Ghana on the right-hand side. And an opportunity for Rajovac to make another change. Junior Agogo coming on, and the match winner, it seems, for Ghana, Matthew Amoa. The 2-goal striker is going to be making way. I'm sure he'll get a good pat on his back by Milovan Rajovac. Junior Agogo enjoyed an excellent Africa Cup of Nations campaign last year in Ghana, scoring 3 important goals, including the winner against arch-rivals Nigeria. He's lost his way somewhat following his move from Nottingham Forest to Zamalek in Egypt, but he's getting an opportunity just for a few minutes to impress against Sudan. Immediately an opportunity for Ghana as the corner's taken. Well defended at the far post. It needed a good header. Barrel-chested Junior Agogo loves scoring goals. Big strong player, and a problem for Sani Adama, the man marking him at the moment, as the corner is taken by Asamoah, and the header at the near post is wide. He's not a big man, Michael Essien, but he has a terrific spring. He times his runs well, and he is dangerous from those sort of situations. Eric Addo spent many years on the books of PSV Eindhoven. Eric Addo, he's now at Roda JC, also a Dutch top flight team. Anthony Annan, another steady performance from him. Back to Addo. I know that a lot of clubs, notably French clubs, are monitoring Anthony Annan very closely. He's a highly rated young player. One of those unfussy midfield players who play the Makalele role, as it's known so well. Sniff of a chance there for Junior Agogo. Mensah with a header. Chested down well by Dramanu, but Sudan have won it back. Given away by Adam. I'm sure that Adam has struggled in terms of stamina in this game. He was absolutely superb in the first 45 minutes, and that's perhaps something that Stephen Constantine needs to work on with Bala Adam, because technically he's excellent, very skillful, very intelligent. But you do sense that he needed perhaps to pace himself a little bit differently. He's drifted out of the game in this second half. Michael Essien will never stop running, and it's another good probing ball out to the left. Opportunities here for Ghana. Are they just going to eat up a few seconds by playing the ball back? They do. Michael Essien spreading the play to the right-hand side for Dramanu. Incoom with a very good cross to the far post. Oh, and again, a brilliant goal-line clearance. Ghana denied a third goal once more by some last-ditch defending. Brilliant overlapping run and cross from Samuel Incoom, who is quite a prospect at right back. One of several exceptional young Ghanaian talents. Terrific technique here. Just to caress the ball to the far post over the goalkeeper's head. Wonder if it was Michael Essien. It was certainly Sami Dama who cleared off the line. After the acrobatics of El Basha, now Dama, the two centre-backs, have basically saved 2 goals. We're into added time here in Khartoum. It's going to be the first home defeat of the third phase for Sudan. They did lose once in the second round of qualifying, a surprise home defeat against Chad. This isn't such a surprise, it's disappointing. 3 minutes of added time to play. They won't be the last team to lose to this Ghanaian side. Incoom finding Dramanu. He's one of those solid performers. Hasn't really been first choice over the last couple of years, Haman Dramanu, but always does a job when called upon. A fuel out to Asamoah. Asamoah all the way back. Certainly any belief that was resting in the Sudan players' heads has been sapped out now. Ghana in complete control, cruising towards another win, and they have been just phenomenal in the third qualifying round so far. Victories already against Benin. Prince Tango scoring the only goal of that match. They won 2-0 away to Mali. A terrific performance. Kwadwo Asamoah and Matthew Amoah on target there. Matthew Amoah has done the damage today here in Khartoum, and Milovan Rejovac is going to be absolutely thrilled with this result. You would fancy Ghana at home to secure another victory against Sudan as well, and 12 points from a possible 12 would perhaps even be enough to qualify Ghana with 2 games to spare. Depends really on whether Benin or Mali can string a couple of results together. Kano with the free kick. Can Sudan get a goal at least? It won't win them a point. Would perhaps reflect the game a little bit better, just because Sudan have enjoyed some really good spells. Dramanu picks out Asamoah, a lovely pass. Back in for Dramanu. Can he pick out a teammate? No, he can't, but he's won a corner. That's going to eat up some valuable seconds as Ghana move closer to what is now an inevitable victory. Stephen Constantine, the Sudan coach, is going to have a few months now to think things over, mull over the 3 performances he's overseen in this third phase, and try to lift his side for the remaining 3 games. Still plenty at stake, of course, with 3 teams going through to the Africa Cup of Nations from the group. But it is all over here, and Ghana have asserted themselves once again. They have run out 2-0 victors, thanks to a goal in each half from Matthew Amoah. Amoah proving the difference today between the 2 teams, scoring the opener on 5 minutes and then helping himself to a second on 52 minutes. That second goal in particular coming at a very difficult time for Sudan and really taking the wind out of their sails, because Sudan were playing very, very well at the time. There's the first goal, turning in Prince Tago's cross, and the man from NAC Breda in the Netherlands helped himself to a second goal just when it looked like Sudan were to get back in proceedings, and from there on it was relatively comfortable for the Black Stars. The players applaud the travelling supporters. They continue to go from strength to strength in this World Cup qualifying campaign, and I think it's fair to say that the Black Stars now have 1 foot at least in South Africa 2010, as we see Matthew Amoah's second goal of the night. A disappointing night for the home supporters. Sudan have given it their all, but they've come up short here against a very, very accomplished Ghanaian side. The final score from Khartoum: Sudan 0, Ghana 2.